Hello and welcome. Today's project is all about two very powerful health anxiety techniques for when you catch yourself in a box, the box of uncertainty. When you're on Dr. Google and you're going on forums and you see many different medical terms related to the symptoms you are experiencing, and it can snowball you into severe health anxiety. And you may even be talking to your loved ones for reassurance, or even your doctor, and they can even send you further down the path of uncertainty because you're getting multiple opinions. Dr. Google is going to give you multiple opinions. The people around you, your coworkers, they're going to give you multiple opinions, and it's going to send you down a path of uncertainty. So it's important to recognize when you are in a state of anxiety, when you are on Dr. Google and you are feeling overwhelmed by the information you're getting. Because when people go on Dr. Google, they're looking for answers because they're in a domain of uncertainty, right? They're in the unknown space. They're in limbo and they need some answers and they need some order, because too much chaos is not good. Too much order is not good. You want to find that mediation, right? And anxiety sufferers are looking for that mediation, but then they end up coping, which is not helpful in the end, because that's just leaving them dependent. And you don't want to be dependent. You want to be independent. And to be independent, you have to be the person who has the internal resources to handle challenges now, right now, the health anxiety you experience now, but the challenges in the future, because things will pop up in the future and you have to have some sort of discipline. You have to have a developed tool belt full of techniques and resources to rely on in order to handle the challenges life always throws our way. Now, when somebody is on Dr. Google and they find a temporary solution, they find information on Dr. Google that says, you're going to be fine. People on forums say it's common. This symptom's common. It could be this, which it's not too bad. And then it makes you feel good for the moment. So you put your phone down. You put the laptop down and you feel good for a moment, but then 3 minutes later, you're back on Dr. Google. You thought you found the answers, but why do you go back on? It's because you're butting yourself to death, which means when you put your phone down, you're like, but what if it is this? But what if it's this other thing? And then you immediately pick up your phone again. 3 minutes later, well, haven't you found the answer yet? Well, the thing is, on Dr. Google, you're going to find so many opinions. There's going to be a lot of medical terminology. Even the medical terminologies, like the long words, used to startle me. Like just seeing a long word, it's like, oh my God, that must be serious. Immediately would send me into panic mode. So it's important to catch yourself and become aware of when you are anxious while you are on Dr. Google. I mean, there's a lot of advantages to YouTube channels where doctors talk about ways you can, like about supplements and health and diets and electrolytes, things like that. There's a lot of benefits in that, but it's important to catch yourself on these sites and feeling anxious. But it's also important to recognize that you're concerned about a certain health issue and you're on the internet looking for answers to that specific health issue. Maybe your skin is red and you're looking for answers on Dr. Google or YouTube. Your face is all flushed and you're wondering why, or you feel a certain way and you're looking on. These things are so abstract that because they're so abstract, they will give you many different opinions, different opinions about what it could be, and that can lead you more into the unknown, right? And that's it can be quite scary. So it's important to break this fear pattern, because this is a built fear. When you search and react, when you search and react, you're building upon this circuitry, this fear circuitry in your mind. And it's important to break that, right? So let's talk about the first technique. It is the reverse what if technique. And so, when you go and Google symptoms, when you are concerned about your symptoms, you get a lot of what if thoughts. What if it is cancer? What if this is that medical terminology I found on Google? What if this heart palpitation is related to heart disease? What if I have that? It's really, my dad had that, or my aunt had that, whatever. It's important to break that pattern before we get too into our emotions, right? And so to do that, reverse the what ifs. So what if it's not cancer? What if it's in my mind? What if I'm overly stressed? What if I'm not sleeping properly? What if I'm not giving back to myself? What if my stress systems are active and causing all of these bodily sensations? What if it's caused by this stress in my relationship? What if it's caused by the people at work who are tyrannizing over me? What if it's important to shift those what if thoughts, because when you do, that narrow perspective of you being unhealthy shifts to a different point of view, because health anxiety sufferers look at themselves through the lens of somebody who's unhealthy. They look at themselves as unhealthy because they've built up these beliefs. Their bodies are built on sand, right? Their foundation is built upon sand. It's a rocky foundation. There's a lot of underlying beliefs there. And so when you start to break these patterns by using your cognitive self-talk, that self-talk that really is comforting, because you want to develop that self-talk, and it's difficult at first. So I recommend when you do this what if reverse technique, you write it down, because writing is a form of thinking. So if you're having trouble coming up with that rational self-talk in that moment when you are feeling anxious, write it down instead. What if it's not cancer? What if it's not heart disease? What if it's not skin cancer? Whatever it is, write it down. Change the meaning. You change the emotion. Also, another technique is the so what technique. This is a great acceptance technique. So what if it is cancer? If it kills me, let it kill me. So what if I'm going to faint? If I faint, I faint. There's so much freeing in that statement. And I used to do this all the time, especially going to bed when I would be anxious about not getting enough sleep, and when I would be anxious going to bed and waking up with panic. What I would do is I would just go into acceptance mode while I was lying there. I'm just going to accept the sensations. I'm going to accept, my mortality. And like 5 minutes later, I'd be asleep. It was like a miracle. I was suffering so deeply from anxiety. Acceptance was a huge part of my recovery, because anxiety sufferers, they have no trust in their bodies. There's no trust. Where's the trust? And it's important to have some discipline where you are engaging in activities that promote positive health. Like the more you exercise or eat right or get enough sleep, the more evidence you can build under yourself saying, well, I am healthy because I get a lot of sleep. I'm healthy because I eat healthy and I'm very conscious about what I eat. I'm healthy because I take cold showers. I'm healthy because I meditate and I take hot baths. I give back to myself. Many people, they don't do this. They run around all day and they're very quick, and they don't spend that time giving back to themselves because their anxiety systems need to relax, and you need to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest system, your rest and digest system. You want to activate that, and you activate that when you are feeling more relaxed, right? So a lot of people, they don't give back to themselves, so they have reasons why they're unhealthy. That foundation of sand, well, there's good reason why that sand is there, right? They're not giving back to themselves. And so when I was a kid, I viewed my racing heart as excitement because I remember it would be Christmas time. I'd remember I was going on a date and my heart would be pounding out of my chest. And when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, I'm excited. That's why my heart is beating so fast. But if my heart was beating fast in my 20s, I would view that as heart disease or some serious health issue. So, and the thing is, when I was a kid and I viewed my heart beating as excitement, it would go away. I wouldn't focus in on it, and it would just dissipate and leave. Because I had trust, but not only trust, I attached certain meaning towards it. But later in my life, the meaning became heart disease, and that caused a lot of anxiety, and anxiety kept the symptom alive. I had a client once where they were very reactive towards their heart because one time they had a doctor's visit, and the doctor's visit didn't go so well because the nurse said, your heart, your blood pressure is high. And so that startled him. And because he was actually nervous at the doctor's appointment, your blood pressure's high. And for the next 20 years, he was very concerned about the heart. And then what's so interesting is that when we were doing our sessions together, I told him about these techniques. Acceptance techniques. So what if it kills me, let it kill me. And then he started to do these. And then next time he came to me and said, Brad, I started to laugh about it the next time I started to feel anxiety. I started to engage in that self-talk. And then I started to feel better. I started to laugh. I started to go into acceptance mode. If it kills me, let it kill me. I'm just going to die right here on the ground, and I told him, be silly about it as well in that moment, because the more silly you are, the more you're going to attach a lot of I guess you can say you're going to attach a lot of silliness to it. Like, you're not going to react to that silliness as much as you would react to something really negative, right? So you're breaking up that negativity, that negative fear, and then you are attaching a lot of joking towards it and silliness and acceptance. And then all of a sudden he came to me and was like, I wasn't so reactive to it. It kind of just went away. I didn't go down this loop, because that snowball would last him the whole day. But then because of that self-talk, it would only last him for like 30 minutes to an hour. It was crazy. And so engage in these really powerful techniques, because they work. And if you have trouble coming up with the self-talk, write it down instead. And that's where I'm going to leave you on today's video. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And remember, do not let anxiety define who you are. Please leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you on the next video. Bye for now. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell so that whenever a new video of mine appears, you will be the first to know. Namaste.